All right, Joe. I see Joe talking about your crankshaft here with Marty, the man that knows all and sees all about crankshafts. And you're looking at your shells. Now, I just came from Gary's Speed Specialties, and the cap for the center main had evidence of having been spun in there, and the cap, he does not think the cap was the original one with the engine, because there's too much of an offset when you installed the cap in the housing bore. You had a lip, and so I took him over a couple of caps, and he got one that he thought would fit better, but he's going to have to line hone it. And so we definitely think we had a misaligned center cap here, but everything else on these shells looks really suspect and weird.
Nothing looks like normal wear. I mean, you see little pieces of trash through everything, but that's when you start eating up bearings, you're going to see the trash because it's going to be everywhere. But they all got, the wear is all offset like this.
Yeah, that's what.
Pinch in here,
right?
Like the journal is hourglass this way.
Well,
you get that you get that shiny spot all around the edge, and then, like I said, wear in here. I don't know.
And then I was noticing it would look like strange wear on the thrust.
Well, when I'm looking at the crank and seeing all this, seeing it blue here, I'm thinking the crank's been welded back.
Okay.
Everything, you don't usually see these blue marks here.
Right, the
and
line.
See all this work where somebody's done a lot of grinding here. I don't know what they were trying to do, but I think they're hiding a weld job. Is what they're trying to do, because you can really see some not very nice looking work.
Right. And the wear pattern is so strange that obviously it was only making contact like on this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's not supposed to make contact anywhere. You know, that's the ideal thing.
Right, but you're floating in.
But it's hitting here and here.
Yeah.
It's telling me that there's not enough clearance. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And it may be that it's running off center, so it's, not running concentric to everything else.
Yeah, which would jive with what he was saying. But it was interesting because everything was...
and the thrust has got a very weird pattern. Touching here, not here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was welded too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
Nice.
We'll definitely take care of it, with the grind if there's not an issue with the crank. I mean, we hope the crank's not cracked.
Yeah, I haven't checked that. I don't have any way to accurately check it, so...
well, that'll be the first thing I do, and make sure that that's not the case.
Right. And I thought my measurements indicated they was tapered. They grounded tapered, but that could be. I wanted another opinion.
744.5. I could know that as many of these as I've done, but some numbers stick in your head and some don't.
Yep.
That's 54. That's 44. Let's see what it's doing. Just under a half point of that. And this side's a little smaller. Well, it's really, it's got that texture to it, like it's had some chatter, because you can feel it as it goes over. It's like you're trying to mark a corn on the cob. A whole high spot and low spot.
Yeah. Well,
it's definitely tapered to the front on that one.
Okay. Well, at least I know I can still measure a crankshaft semi-accurately.
Same thing on this one. It's not critical taper. I've seen worse. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not right. How's that?
Yeah. Well, we like the get full use of your bearing surface.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. not just to catch a corner.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, good. So I got you some.
If it ain't cracked, we've got a good starting spot. We can make something out of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just worry when I see one that's been welded all the way through. throw a lot of stress in a piece of metal when you get it that hot. Should be 35.8. It is. Seem to get the taper under control on the rods.
Maybe addressed their stone, huh? Or use a different stone?
Well, I use the same one because the widths are so right. So
Oh, okay.
I may dress it in between depending on how slick it gets, but
Yeah.
usually once I'd set it and forget it, as the commercial says on TV.
Mm.
You didn't do the taper on the rod jaws, but
Okay.
they're up on the pure high, so if you've got a rod that was sized down on the low, you don't have much clearance there for oil to pass through.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I check all the mains and rods for actual clearance, plastic gauge, and use Wallace's no-go brass shim stock and double check everything, because a lot of times what you get is where the caps pull down, where the bolt holes is, they actually protrude or pooch.
Pinch in.
Yeah, and so you got to clean those up to
Yeah.
get a good read on them.
See, that's not a normal wear that you're seeing, it's when the inside of that bearing.
Yeah.
And you can see back here where it's shiny, but it's dark in the middle, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure what happened here, whether the bearing was loose in the rod.
Yeah.
That's just very uncommon to see that hard wear right in the middle.
Yeah.
The crank's not miking like it's high, so
It doesn't make sense.
maybe the rods weren't checked at all. They ground the crank on high and just put it back together. I don't know.
Well, Gary's got the rods, and I'll have him check those to see if they
Boy,
need
it's
to
the
be.
same. All of them are identical. So.
Yeah, it's all the same, identical, same wear pattern. Okay.
Yep.
Good, we got our mission. That one, it's interesting, the darkness on the back there.
See, again, I'm seeing like maybe that's not tight in the rod like it should be.
Yeah. And at least they were smart enough to re-drill the oil holes. But you notice how inconsistent they are with the oil holes? Because from the factory, the oil hole is offset. It's not this oil hole is not correct for this engine, and you have to drill your own oil hole. And
Oh, really?
So at least they did that. That's why all these have 2 oil holes. It's the damnedest thing. People, if you don't pay attention, you take the rods right out of the box and put them in there, your engine will be starved for oil. Because these rods are pressure fed.
Yeah, but they're pressure fed through the crank, aren't they?
Yeah, but the oil hole here, the original oil hole, will not line up with the hole that's in the rod.
Oh, you're saying it feeds the pin bushing?
It does, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've never worked on one like that.
That's right. Pin
So
bushing.
the pin bushings are pressure fed.
Right.
Yeah, I knew the rod was, but that's why I was asking about the oil holes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
At least they knew to do that, but they didn't know to check the other stuff, which is unusual.
Well, the good news is they left me a decent radius to work with, so
Okay.
if everything checks out, at least we're going to have a good radius to start our fresh crank with. So
Okay.
that will not be a weak problem, which a lot of times is on the first cut
Yeah.
because it goes away.
Well, I'm happy and excited. I think we might get lucky if we got no material problems, crackage or whatever. And then I'll have Gary balance it, and we'll have us. This is darn near diesel crankshaft. I mean, this is a stout crank for a 100 horsepower engine.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's beefy.
Yeah, and the rods.
The big journals and the short stroke. I mean, there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah. So.
I was amazed that time when I found that one crack because you don't see these things broken like that.
Yeah, that engine really been abused.
But I don't ever see this heating like this. That's why I'm thinking a weld somewhere.
Yeah. Well, we were driving this thing when it slowly seized.
Feel that right there. Just run your finger up.
Oh, my goodness, that's a sharp edge.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Same here.
That darn near cut paper.
See, it's almost like they welded up, but they didn't weld all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And they just went back and ground where it was at.
Now, but Joe and I were driving this car. The brakes had hung up on it, and so we were fighting the brakes. And after a period of time, the engine started slowly slowing down and losing power, and eventually seized. And then after it sat long enough, it cooled down. It would re-crank. So some of that may have been from us driving back in the middle of Colorado.
Yeah, but see, if it was from the bearing, it would be dark here too.
So it's not.
You see, all the blue in here was ground away when they ground the journal.
So there's no
yeah,
new blue.
That's not from the engine slowing down.
Okay. Okay.
If it stopped it and then you cranked it again, that wouldn't do that because the journal would be more heat than out here.
Okay. All right. So we didn't do any damage.
No.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm okay. We got you covered, Joe. Talk to you later. Bye.